The next demo is by someone that does amazing things with aroma, infusions, and flavorings. He's an aromatic and product formulation chemist, consultant, and educator, and he's the author of Bush Scents, Australian Essential Oils and Aromatic Compounds. Please welcome Mark Webb, the Aroma Science Guy.
G'day, it's Mark Webb, the Aroma Science Guy here, and today we're going to take a look at one of the Australian native food plants, Syzygium lumanii, or ryeberry as it's known, also known as clove lily-pilly. It's part of the lily-pilly family, or the Syzygium family, similar to Syzygium aromaticum, clove, and these are the berries, the fruits. As you can see, they're not super big, but they're intensely coloured, and they have this very interesting flavour profile. Predominantly it's eugenol, so it's clovey. Not as strong as clove, but it certainly has a pleasant enough flavour to consider adding to other things. So let's have a look. I've been preparing some that I foraged in the local area. It grows as a street tree here in southern Brisbane. Quite common in southern Brisbane as a street tree. So, and the council encourages foraging in the community. So what am I going to combine this with? Well, let's just pan out and have a look. How about some delicious Granny Smith apples that I picked up at the market the other week? And yes, they've been dosed with some lemon juice. I keep bags of frozen lemon and lime in the freezer for when I need it, and so otherwise if you don't dose this with citric acid, it will go brown. And one of my other favourites to work with is rhubarb. So it's a perfect combination of the beautiful intense colours and the subtle clove flavour of the ryeberry with the apple and the rhubarb. So after several hours of work, this is everything processed. So over on this side we've just got straight up ryeberries, vacuum packed on their own. They're going to go in the freezer, and at a later date will be turned into sauces, and you never know, some might even end up in some ryeberry gin. This little guy here was the last of the ryeberries, so what I've done is I've combined him with some black pepper and some raspberry vinacotta. I'm going to make a sauce out of that guy. This one is straight up ryeberries with strawberry balsamic and raspberry vinacotta. I want to see how that comes out on its own. I decided to do an apple and ryeberry on its own, an apple and ryeberry with the strawberry balsamic and the raspberry vinacotta, and then the rest of these guys over here are the combination of apples soaked in lemon juice with the rhubarb soaked in the strawberry balsamic and the raspberry vinacotta with the ryeberries. So these are half kilo bags. They're basically 200 grams of apple, 200 grams of rhubarb, and 100 grams of ryeberries. And they're all going to get cooked in the sous vide later today. And we'll just see how they turn out. Alright, so I've loaded up my large tank. I think it's a 27 litre tank that I've got. It's one of the bigger poly tanks, and so I've got all 11 packs in it together. I'm running a set temperature of 64 degrees C, and I'll be putting some weights on top of this stuff just to weight it down in a second. Just put a rack or two on it just to weight it down, and we'll see how they all cook up. So everything's been cooked, and I've basically ran them in the sous vide at 64 degrees for half an hour, then checked for doneness, and the rye berries and the rhubarb were sort of starting to soften, but the apple wasn't, so I let it go for another 15 minutes. Still wasn't soft, so I took it out to an hour at 64 degrees before I finally pulled it. And you can see the Granny Smith apple is still firmish, which, you know, that'll be good in strudel or in pies. The rye berries, as you can see, are quite soft, but then they are a soft fruit anyway, so not a big deal. The rhubarb is nicely cooked. You can see the rhubarb there. It's just, you know, it's breaking apart a little bit in the bag, and you can see the apple's taken up the colour from the vina cotta and the balsamic vinegar. So yeah, pretty happy with that. There's the rye berries with the balsamic vinegar over them. Yeah, they've come through okay. I'll be interested to see how they taste. I might make a tart with these. I don't know. I'll see. There's some possibilities. And there's the end of the rye berries. That I said that I put the black pepper over and the vina cotta. I'm going to turn that into a sauce to glaze some meat later on. So watch this space for that one. But yeah, these packs of apple, rhubarb and rye berry, I think have come up quite well. So again, wait to see what I do with them over the rest of the month. So I'm down in Sydney at Mum's place, and I'm going to make her a Christmas strudel using this commercial butter puff pastry from Pampers, my sous vide apple and rhubarb and rye berry mix in the strawberry, balsamic and vinegar and raspberry vina cotta, and this is a apricots, fruit medley, cranberries and soft dried figs that have been vacuum cold infused with VSOP brandy and vanilla. And so that's going to be the mixture. And I'm also going to introduce a new Aussie herb. This is strawberry gum, Eucalyptus oida, and it has, this grows up around the Tenterfield region in New South Wales, and it's rich in a compound called methyl cinnamate, which smells and tastes like strawberries and cinnamon together. So it's a perfect complement to go with the clove tasting rye berries and the vanilla and the brandy. So I'll start to put this together in a second. So strawberry gum is quite a strong aromatic, with the methyl cinnamote's quite pungent. So this is just one leaf diced up to go into this amount of material. So that's half a kilo of fruit. It's 200 grams of apple, 200 grams of rhubarb and 100 grams of rye berries, with a bit of the strawberry balsamic vinegar and the raspberry vina cotta. And there's, I think, 200 grams of mixed dried fruit with the VSOP brandy and the vanilla over it. So, you know, that's a comparable amount of fresh leaf. If I was using dried leaf, I'd use probably about a quarter of that. But because this is fresh leaf, it's not quite as pungent. So this is probably a really simple, it's probably one of the most simple recipes you could do. It's add the sous vide fruit, the vacuum infused dried fruit and the strawberry gum leaf to the bowl, mix it together, and then, because I'm not making pastry, I'm using this beautiful Pampers butter puff pastry, because I couldn't be bothered making puff pastry, frankly. We'll just lay it out and then roll it up, and then we'll egg wash it just to finish it before putting it in the oven. So I've made one strudel. I've already wrapped it, and here's the filling, and here's the next one in production. So I basically just mixed up the various fruits and the strawberry gum spice, and I'm just going to roll it and then egg wash it and place it on the tray. So I'm not the greatest pastry chef, but you know, I've got the strudel mix wrapped in the puff pastry and I've egg washed it, and then I've sprinkled a little bit of sugar, just white sugar over the top, just to give some caramelising on it. And I'm about to pop it into a 350 degree oven, or 180 degrees Celsius, and bake this pastry. So let's see how it turns out. So they've just come out of the oven. They were in a 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius oven And because this isn't a fan-forced oven, they took about 45 to 50 minutes just to get that nice brown texture on the surface, nice crunch on the surface. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how they've come out. So I'll let them cool down a little bit before we plate up. So here we are plated up, and I thought that to go with this very Christmassy themed strudel, fruit strudel, I'd go with some Bailey's original cream for Chrissy, just to give it that nice plonky, slightly alcoholic, delicious flavour. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, there's the fruit strudel with all of that deliciousness in it. Now obviously we're going to have to do a taste test. So what do you think of that, Mum? How does the fruit taste?
Fruit tastes nice.
You like that? Mm-hmm. And does it go nicely with the Bailey's cream? Does that work with it too? Mm-hmm. So let's see how it tastes. I decided to go with Bailey's cream with it because I thought it would be a pretty good flavour combo, and you can see the different fruits in that. Yeah, it's a nice balanced combination. It's you can taste the strawberry gum, you can taste the slight cloviness of the rye berries, of these little guys, in with the apple and the rhubarb. And yeah, it's not too sweet because I didn't add any extra sugar to it. And I think it's going to make a really lovely Christmas dessert. So there you have my Aussie native Christmas strudel with the unique rye berry and strawberry gum. I hope you enjoyed that. I wanted to show just how easy it was to use sous vide techniques over time to pre-prep stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this, and
I'm probably going to get in trouble for not working my mom into more videos now. That was great. Great seeing Mama Webb on there contributing to the video. If you enjoyed the video, give Mark some love in the comments. I love seeing all the really cool stuff that he does, especially with the aromatics and the native Australian ingredients. It's always really cool to see. And if you're enjoying the showcase and you'd like to be more involved in the ISVA, as I mentioned earlier, we're always looking for volunteers, people to contribute recipes, do demos, or just help with the behind-the-scenes work. If any of that interests you, please reach out at theisva.net/help. We love working with people, and I'm sure that we can find some work for you too. It's great being involved. It's a great group of individuals trying to move the sous vide community forward.